But yo, my city, if I could rap, I would want to link up with this guy right here. He's an entertainment promoter. He has an ebook coming out very soon called How to Try Gigs as an Emerging Artist. Listen, I got a lot of questions. I didn't know artists still needed entertainment promoters, but apparently they do. There's a lot of different facets to the game. So I'd like to welcome to the show, Mr. Max Mupesse. How you doing, King?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. Yo, it's been a long time coming. We finally get you on the show, see what's going on. Is it lonely being the only young entertainment promoter from Montreal? Because a lot of guys are promoters in the city, but they're party promoters. So I like to just draw that distinction off the bat. Your job's a little bit more complex, right?
Correct. I mean, it feels lonely at times, although what helps me is the fact that, I draw inspiration from other guys who are able to do it before me. Exactly. So whenever I look at a guy like Malik Shahid or even Ricky D, Kevin Calix as well, then that keeps me going, and that reminds me of, it may look like I'm the only one at the moment, but eventually there's going to be others, or even there's other people cooking up, but they haven't been, releasing their product yet.
Well, I was looking at your bio, and I knew you were serious because you went to Trebas. So people don't know, if you want to do music, if you want to be in music management, Trevor's gonna look good on your resume. It's official. People have won Junos and Grammys. All have gone to Trevor's. We've seen the ads in the Metro, but it's a real beautiful technical school for music and music alike in the industry. So I know you were serious. I was like, okay, he went to the Harvard of the music game. Now, a couple of years ago, you started something beautiful called Global Sound Agency. I've been watching you from afar. It's grown to a lot of things. Most recently, you came out with a clothing line. So things is going good with the global agency. But you do a lot of consulting for artists. You do concert production as well. How do you even put all these things together? And also, you being the only guy really in this young wave of creatives coming out of the city. Yeah. How did you know how to move about? Like who showed you the way? Like, you know what? I want to be an entertainment promoter. I'm gonna go this way with this.
Well, I gotta say, it started out with my uncle when I was probably less than 5 years old.
Right.
He used to live with us in an apartment in DG back in the days, and he used to have his DJ set in his room, piled up with a lot of records, and he had an agenda too, and within that agenda he had old school pictures of hip hop artists from the 80s, Marley Marl, MC Shan, Slick Rick, Nas, and whatnot. So I told myself, eventually I had that attraction to that kind of lifestyle because I saw them with jewelry, looking fly, and they had some sort of aura about them. And I kept my eye on what was going on. So every now and then I would see my uncle with new cars, looking fresh. And eventually he became an official DJ. So throughout his years, I was able to understand what he was doing. He was giving me a few gems here and there. And to a point where I told myself, you know what? I want to look up what a promoter does and how can I get involved in that game. So eventually I did my research. When I started realizing that, something that I may have in me because I'm able to, grasp people together and bring them to the room. So I told myself, I think I could do it. And another thing that kept me, consistent or even organized throughout the process, because it may look like I do a lot of things at one time, but I had to figure out a way where, let's say for 1 month I focus on, hip hop. The next month I could focus on comedy. The month after I could focus on whether it's consulting. Eventually, when I had my schedule like that, I told myself, okay, you know what? I can't do everything at the same time.
No, you can't.
I got to structure it in a way where I could package it, and when it's ready, whenever it's going to be the time to release a comedy show, when that's going to be the time. So I broke it down in a way where I have like 2 comedy shows a year and a bunch of hip hop shows throughout the year.
Yo, listen, man. Your hip hop shows have been legendary. You put a lot of producers on it. It was like a jam fest. I felt like I was in New York. I was in Soho with the artists and the creators. But it's dope because you really can tell that you really love music because you created a platform. You got created spaces where guys, producers, and rappers can come and kind of cipher it out. And you did that for years. And without no flowers, without no one giving you the kudos, without no recognition. You did it because you loved the music. You did it because you believed in the artists in the city. And yeah, I have to commend you for that, because boy, that sure is a lot of work. Doing what you're doing, you're like an octopus. You have all these tentacles, and you have to somewhat have this overview of the whole game and bring everything together. You were speaking about gems there. I saw a couple of years ago you went to this thing at Harvard. And I was like, how did Max end up at Harvard? I see you there, Jay Prince and all these guys. What's going on? I'm like, is Max the next Russell? Is Max the next Diddy? Talk to me a little bit about that experience when you went to Harvard, and you got to hear all these great lectures from a lot of these guys that were real mover and shakers in the industry.
Word. I mean, that happened because, thanks to my brother, because he's involved in the sports community.
Yeah.
So every year he gets the opportunity to go to the Hall of Fame, NBA Hall of Fame.
Oh damn! So, okay.
Yeah, he pretty much networked the correct way. Therefore, he has a pass to a certain extent, and he had to pay his dues, of course. So when that happened, we told ourselves we're going to the Hall of Fame. But that same weekend, we realized that Jay Prince was going to be in Boston, and the Hall of Fame is in Springfield,
Massachusetts. Yeah,
that's like 1 hour away. So we're like, all right, let's figure it out. We go, and by the time we reached there, we didn't even know if we had to pay or if it was free for the event.
Right.
Event. So we stay in Massachusetts. We find a hotel. We start looking up online the place where Jay Prince is going to be, because of course it's going to be at Harvard. We need to know which unit exactly.
Yeah.
Now, once we reach there, we tell ourselves, okay, let's just take a bus straight there. It costs like what? It's $15-$20.
Yeah, yeah.
And we reached. Yeah, we made it happen, man. We took the chance. And what's crazy is that we waited more than like 30 minutes in the wrong room. Time. Let's say it starts at like 4 p.m. Once it hit 3:59, I looked up the flyer. We're like, yo, it's not even the same room. We run. By the time we run, I feel like the universe blessed us, because as soon as we walked outside, we started running. That's when we met Jay Prince outside. I was like, yeah, it was meant to be,
Personal legend, the omens. Well, listen. Well, there's been many different evidence that definitely show that you're in the right place, being an entertainment promoter. I'd like to know some keys to the game. Don't give me too much. I do know you wanted to buy the book. You have a book out called How to Attract Gigs as an Emerging Artist.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we have some good talent in the city, Max. How can we get some of these artists out there? What are some of the tricks you're giving out? And it's not as if you're some guy that's just coming out of nowhere. You've put comedians in position, on platforms that Kevin Hart is producing. You've worked with a lot of dope artists as well, like Locksmith. So now that you have a track record already. So now you felt confident enough. First of all, how did you feel confident enough to write a book, Max? Wait. Where you coming giving away all the secrets of the game, Max?
I mean, I understood the importance of sharing the value, sharing what I learned in the game, what I learned throughout my process, and I feel like if I hold that for so long and then I don't eventually share it or even sell it to a certain extent, then it's gonna feel like I kept it all for myself.
Selfish,
I didn't want anyone to shine. So I always been that type of person that roots for anyone who's walking even before me, or even taking the ball before me. If I give an example to sports or whatnot, and it gave me an idea of like being the guy that cares to just give. So that's my way of doing it. I just wanted to give.
Okay, so give me a little taste here. The book is called How to Attract Gigs as an Emerging Artist. Give me a little taste here. Like, what is one thing you feel like that no matter what kind of artist you are, if you're doing R&B, if you're doing rap, if you're doing country or soul, no matter what kind of artist you are, what is one of the first things you tell an artist when you're doing a little bit of your consulting?
Okay. Well, first thing I ask them is, what do they want exactly? They have to tell me what do they want as an artist, and to be honest about how they want their career to be laid out. Therefore, I'll be able to know, okay, what commitments are they making and what commitments can they make. So if they ever try to lie or even bring up something else, say, oh, I need a manager, well then they have to understand a manager is going to show up for two reasons. Whenever an artist no longer has the time to manage their own tasks.
Yeah.
Second reason would be for the know-how, so they could teach them certain things that the artists need to know for themselves. And that helped me understand, okay, you know what, there's going to be a lot of things artists are going to need to consider before thinking about taking their game to the next level, looking at established artists. Because one thing that could be toxic for a creative is to look at another creative who has established their career already. So they need to understand the process and how it is important to focus on it now.
So what happens if an artist comes in, sees you, and they play their music for you, and you don't feel the music? You don't think that there's a special sauce here? Do you still work it through, or are you honest with the artist? Would you represent someone that you wouldn't particularly listen to their own music?
I would not, and I would be honest with them in a way where I would give them a shot too, because most recently I'm thankful for the opportunity to be brand ambassador for Heavy Sound Labs. I don't know if you know about that. I got
no. Listen, inform me. Listen, it sounds like you get some free beats or some music. So I'm here. I'm in the building. What's that all about?
So to break it down simple, Heavy Sound Labs is the new way of talking about a label combining with the combination of a label and a digital company. So it has both together. And Jason Jeter is the founder of it, who used to still is the best friend of T.I. He founded Grand Hustle. So I pitched there, and they looked at my resume. They told me, okay, I'll be a good fit for their brand ambassadoring. So I got the chance of doing it. So let's say an artist would like to blow up or even show me their music, then I would tell them, okay, you could even subscribe to Heavy Sound Labs, look up what their community is about, or even be part of certain communities, because I would like to tell them straight up, hey, I feel like you need to work on such certain things before you even think about performing or even think about giving your music so that people could play in a radio station. So I would give them a few gems, like look up Heavy Sound Labs or even other communities. I think, well, I wouldn't say United Masters helped them out, because United Masters is a little bit more upscale, but no, they would have to look up certain communities on Facebook, Instagram, and
Well, at least you don't leave them high and dry and cutting the game. You still somewhat kind of try to steer them. Montreal, my city. I've been speaking with entertainment promoter Max Mupesse. He has the book out called How to Attract Gigs as an Emerging Artist. Listen, you've done so much good work. In the book, do you talk a little bit about digital marketing? Because in this new era that we live in, this is becoming a very prominent thing, especially, unfortunately, with us dealing with COVID and everybody being kind of recluse to their living rooms and their work room or their man caves, whatever the case may be. Do you talk about digital marketing in the book? And if so, what are some of the things you think an artist should do firsthand?
Well, I do talk about digital marketing. There's a chapter called Digital Real Estate, and I chose that word because I heard about it and I was like, oh, that's an interesting word, just to create your own real estate in the digital world. So one gem I like to share is that artists need to understand, of course, they're a brand. They represent themselves as a business, but they have to develop their content creating skills, or even learn those type of skills. So, for instance, I like to talk about the fact that a lot of artists need to show their day-to-day, the behind the scenes of project they're working on. A lot of ways to engage with fans would be, let's say they hop on other people's lives and comment. This way, not only the person knows that there's some sort of interaction, but there's value being created in that interaction. That's something I actually do. I used to, when the pandemic started, I would look up a lot of quote unquote influencers, but I like to call them, powerful entrepreneurs. I would go on their lives, and then I would, pay attention to the lives. Like if I'm in class, and I would take notes. and I would respond to people's comments. And I noticed that within a week, I would just get more followers, organic followers. So that helped me. So in other words,
that's a deep trick. Oh, that's a nice little trick. Oh boy, listen, I be giving away too much secrets on the morning Detour. That's really dope. I never thought about it like that. That's really clever.
And once that happened, I'm able to understand. Okay, shoot, I have, let's say, 10 to 15 people following me. Now I could build a community. I could go on Facebook and create a Facebook group and just share free games, share content that the same people that follow me for a reason, because they want to know more about what I'm creating. So I'll just create that Facebook private group and then share articles or even any type of gem.
One thing, listen, man, all these games, Montreal, we can't give you no more secrets. You have to get the book, How to Attract Gigs as an Emerging Artist. I'll be buying the books as well, because now, after hearing you talk, I'm like, okay, this brother knows what he's talking about. You know what I mean? You know the right people. I like the way you're bringing different elements together in one, and that's a skill that not a lot of people have. One of the last things I want to find out from you, your entertainment promoters, there's not many like you in the city, but even though there's other kind of promoters in the city that are really specific, like some of them just do parties, some people just do concerts, some people just host gigs. Have some of the OGs in the game in the city, have they given you game? Have they been easy to work with? What has been the relationship with some of the OGs in the game, like a Malik Shaheed, like a Ricky D?
Oh, absolutely. Those two, I appreciate them a lot. Even Kevin Calix as well. Shout out to Feezy. I paid attention to a lot of them. I didn't want to be the guy that shows up in the game, like in the entertainment business, and not knowing who paved the way, who were the people responsible of bringing the city to a certain extent, to a certain level. I would say Malik Shaheed, Ricky D, of course Kevin Calix, Feezy too. He gave me multiple opportunities. I would love to chop it up with Olivier Primo. That was something.
Beach Club, Mr. Beach Club. I see you. Yeah.
And I like something I thought about for myself, but that's something, it depends on how he looks at it. I was thinking, I'm like, wow, imagine if he started sharing the game. That would make a lot.
Well, listen, this is one of the stripes I have a lot of people that have access or have keys to the door, stuff like that. When you're coming up in the game and you're looking for help, a lot of these people feel like, well, if I were to help Max, I'm gonna give everything to Max. You know what I'm saying? And I always tell people, if you're in a position to just move the culture, the bigger picture is the entertainment culture in the city. Then why won't you do that? We all can work together. A lot of people, unfortunately, Max is create be more hungry. I mean, Olivier Primo has a stranglehold in whatever section of things, but the urban culture is the urban culture. So nobody could ever tell me that anybody outside of the Black community could sell this thing that we created. And I'm happy that you're in the position that you are. You're young, you're bright, you're smart. The book is called How to Attract Gigs as an Emerging Artist. Before I let you go, what so far in the entertainment game, what has been one of the biggest lessons you've learned?
Hey.
I know there must have been many. You've been around Jay Prince. For those that don't know, Jay Prince is like the dark hand behind Drake. You know what I mean? There's no Drake without Jay Prince. So you've been around a lot of guys that have executed a lot of the idea. You know what I mean? A lot of raw talent, but they've executed. So what has been one of the biggest takeaways for you thus far?
I would go with, let's say, all the observations I've made. Reading, of course, Jay Prince's book, meeting Master P. I would say, man, just to be a person that protects your turf. You got to protect your ground first and foremost. In order to not only display the foundation you're gonna build, but you're gonna have to command respect to a certain extent. So that would be my most important gem that I still hold on today, because of course people know me as, oh, Max, you good, man, you a cool dude, you don't want to be too nice.
No, you can't. Max, I don't want to hear that nice stuff. Max, for many years on my podcast, Run Wolves, I always talked about the fact that I don't trust people that smile too much.
Yeah.
If you grin too much, nobody's that happy, Max.
Exactly.
Oh man, Montreal, my city. I've been speaking with entertainment promoter, consultant. You're a host. And now you're an author as well, Mr. Max Mupesse. He has a book out right now called How to Attract Gigs and Emerging Artists. You are a bright talent in the city. You're like the next Diddy or Russell Simmons. Man, this has been great, boy. This has been great. Listen, next time you drop another book, you have to come back, man. We gotta get you back on again, man, and give us some more of the game. But you can't give everything, Max. They gotta buy the book. How to Attract Gigs as the Emerging Artist, Max Mupesse.
No problem. One last thing I want to share. Okay, so I kept that in my mind ever since I left that conference with Master P. One of the ushers, she told me something that kept in mind. I was like, damn. She said, get in the room, and she broke that what room meant.
Right.
So R meant for you gotta do your research. O meant for you gotta seize the opportunity. No, my bad. R meant to do the research. O meant for you gotta make an offer. The other O meant for you gotta seize the opportunity. And then the M stands for you got to make a move. So like that's something I want to teach people. Even in the book I talk about it. Like you got to make sure you do your research.
No, I like that acronym. Yeah.
So I was like, man, that's powerful. I'm always gonna keep that in mind. So like as soon as you start in the game, you got to do your research. First and foremost, know who was in the game, who are the people responsible for, who are the movers and shakers. People are actually pushing buttons. Then the first O would be you got to make an offer. Let's say you want to work with someone or even want to learn from an influencer. Well, then you have to bring something to the table to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Then you got to then you got to seize the opportunity. Whether the opportunity is you become an intern, you have to learn from certain people without necessarily getting paid, or you could get paid depending on how you look at it, or what fits good for you. And then the last and foremost is make a move. You gotta take action.
Listen, man, close the mouth. Do not get fed, Max. You gotta make a move. If you want something, you have to definitely go out and get it. You're definitely a go-getter, Max Mupesse. This has been a beautiful.
The Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.